Welcome back. That was Entertainment Tidbits. Now is that moment you've all been waiting for. I'm sure you're wondering, who is Demola Adedoyin? I'm sure people will be asking.
Yeah.
Are you related to the one and only Adedoyin we know?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
He's my father.
He's your father?
Yes.
And you're an actor?
Well, yes.
How did you pull that off?
It's good that you called it a stunt because I had to be very stealthy. You know, it's a very traditional kind of family, and, you know, with the kind of success he's had, there's certain expectations he may have for what he wants his kids to do. And I've always been very artistic. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't get that sector of industry at all. So he's constantly against it. I just basically had to do things on my own, you know, regardless of what else was going on.
Before we move further, did he give you his blessings?
Well, he recently gave me a kind of blessing, but it was very rebellious in the beginning. I had no blessing whatsoever. You know, I just had to do what I had to do. I mean, in the beginning, of course, with the privilege that I come from, you hope that maybe you get some financial assistance or whatever, and that never came because he can only invest in the kind of thing he understands. So I had to decide myself, look, is this something I'm giving my life to? Is it a hobby or, you know? So I decided I'm really going to go into it because it's based on my natural talents, God-given talents. So it was inevitable, really.
Speaking of talent, when did you really discover you have this artistic prowess in you?
Artistic, since very early, because I've been drawing and painting and all that kind of stuff, and writing music since I was like little, singing songs, doing Michael Jackson routines. So I've always kind of had that.
So at that time when you were young and you were doing the writing, the painting, the musical presentation and all of that, it wasn't a threat in any way to them. They just felt, okay.
Of course, you know, they was just like, he's a kid, yeah. Let him do this thing. By the time he gets into school, and we'll know what he really wants to do and all that. Go and be a lawyer or a doctor or something.
So when did it become official? When did you come up and say, come, Dad, Mom, this is what I want to become?
No, well, I always knew it would be a problem. I didn't announce it. I knew I had to get an education.
Okay.
So I got my degree in business and I went to masters. You know, I did the usual stuff. But I didn't really tell them that as soon as I get back, this is what I'm going to focus on. I didn't tell anyone.
So at what point did they get to know?
They got to know when people started mentioning it to them, like third parties. Maybe someone sees me on a set or they see me on a poster or something, and they'll say, oh, you know, your son is this, your son is doing this and that. And then he'll call me up and say, is this what you're doing now? You know, stuff like that. That's how it happened.
And were you denying it at the time?
Not really. Not really. I said, yes, it's one of the things I'm doing, which is true.
Okay. So your dad set out to make you what? What did he set out to make you?
He didn't set out to make me anything in particular, but I just knew he would go against the arts. You know, maybe if I had said I wanted to do something more along the lines of the professions, like law or medicine or, you know, something like that. Engineering, or, you know. He would have been all up for it. I may have had more support or whatever, but yeah, I knew that I would have to do it by myself.
Does that make you the black sheep in the family?
Maybe I was for a while. I guess I was for a while, to tell you the truth, yeah. Yeah, for a while.
How did it feel at that time?
It was terrible, actually. It was a terrible time for me. But, I mean, even if you watch a movie, there's always the terrible time. All through the second act, it's terrible. But you have to think about, you know, what's the silver lining at the end of it? Is there any hope? You know, I mean, most artists live by faith, you know. There are two types of people in the world, the scientist and the artist. The scientist lives by planning and method. The artist mostly lives by faith and hope.
And they take leaps in the dark.
Yeah, they have to.
And you did. And it paid off.
Well, it's beginning to pay off.
You're beginning to be accepted into the family fold again.
I don't know, but I was never rejected from the family fold or whatever. But yeah, I get on a bit better with everyone now.
In case you don't know, he's the main act of October 1, the October 1 we'll be hearing about forever. This is the main act. And how he got there, we'll find out soon enough. How did that happen, really?
I just decided to target the leaders in the industry that I knew I had access to, like Tola Adedoyin, who I'd known for a long time, and Kunle Afolayan were from the same hometown, were relatives. And I just targeted them and a few other people who I haven't officially started with, so I can't name them. But I have people I've targeted and I've approached that, look, I know you're doing great things here. You've gone far ahead in this industry. This is what I can do. You know, let me know if you can plug me in anywhere. That was my strategy, and that's what I stuck to as soon as I got back, yeah.
There's so many people who have, like, wished they had this opportunity forever.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like a flu because...
And some people might actually think it's because of your status as Adedoyin.
If you know Kunle Afolayan, you'll know that's not true.
You know I know him.
Oh my God. You know he has brothers in the industry, and he could have, if it's about family and connections, he could have plugged anyone in at any time. He's very serious about the kind of casting he does. In fact, the first film I did in the UK, it was about racism. And he told me that he wouldn't have cast me for the role. Basically, I felt down a bit when he said that, but when he explained, it made sense to me that it's mainly about racism. You know, I played the boyfriend of a white girl who has a racist mother. And he said to me, look, I wouldn't have cast you for that because even if I'm a white woman and my mother sees you, she may like you. So I'll cast the kind of black guy that doesn't look like you for that kind of thing. So he's... maybe the connections helped, but I want to believe that there was something there in the first place.
Okay, did you like have a formal training for this
for
craft?
Film?
Yes.
Yes. After I got my master's degree, I went to...
Business?
No, I got the master's degree in media and communications. My first degree was in business.
Okay.
I went to Central Film School after master's to do a course to learn directing, film directing, and digital film production. So I got that, and then on my own, I did like, you know, like acting workshops. Like, you know, when like a great actor will get some people together and do a workshop on acting. I attended quite a few of those, so it got me tapped in. Yeah, those are just the basic, and I did a lot of the rest of the work myself on my own.
Okay, so how many films have you done so far?
2 films, 1 TV series.
2 films.
The first film was a
series.
short. The second one was a TV series, which is, we're almost at the end of shooting it. And October 1, which is the third one, the major one. Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people will be green with envy for you, like, how did this, I mean, October 1.
I was lucky.
And you had to like act alongside with the big names like Sadiq Daba,
top guys,
top
yeah.
A-listers in the movie industry.
Yeah.
How did you cope?
Well,
I mean, since you're, can I call you a spring chicken? No.
I don't know. Like, okay, I'll accept that. But just repeating. That's how you learn. You know, repeating the things you've been taught.
Were you intimidated at one time, at certain times?
Yeah, in the beginning I was.
You were?
Yeah,
okay.
Especially the first few times I met them. Because I met them in Lagos at Kunle's office. We came together to do script analysis. He flew in the actors from the UK actors.
Okay.
Flew them in, we did these little meetings. And they were very tense at first because I'm like, these guys are pros. They've done like at least 20 films each. You know, I don't even want to say I know how many films these guys have done. And even one of the actors from the UK was in Pirates of the Caribbean. And I'm thinking, okay, calm down. And on set even, you know, we're sitting together having drinks, and everybody laughing, playing together. And when it's time to go on set, Kunle will say action. And these guys, it's like this. They're in character. And me, I'm like 10 minutes ago, we're not just sitting down and laughing. How do you expect me to just transform? So after a while, I decided to go method, like to do some serious method acting, because in the end, I had to play two people in this film. So I had to separate myself from, I just stayed away from everybody.
Okay. I think the viewers now would want to see what Demola is all about as we bring you excerpts from October 1, Saturday night. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Happy Independence!
Independence has arrived 10 years too early.
There's been a murder. In fact, two. Coty.
We found out not about you.
We are dealing with premeditated murder in the first degree.
I'm imposing an 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. coffee on Akute. Mount police checkpoint to every entry into Akute.
Question everyone. Find out anything unusual. And if by chance you come into contact with the killer, you must blow your whistle.
Welcome back. That was excerpts from October 1, and we're focusing on Demola Adedoyin. He's the main act, and yes, that was really awesome. That was, I mean, this is your first in Nigeria, right?
Yes.
And you did this much in no little time.
Well,
It's like you were born for the role. Huh?
I don't know. I'll leave that for other people to say, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and it's something. It's been in me for a while. It's something I needed to let out. Yeah.
So what did the whole experience? What did it teach you? What did it impact in you?
Basically, you have to be thinking on 3-4 possibilities for every scenario at a time. Every plan you make, you need to think of 3 possible ways it could go right, and 3 possible ways it could go wrong. Because in our environment, it's not easy to do this thing properly. It's not easy. You know, a lot of people can criticize the industry and say Nigerians are making rubbish films, but can you make a film? Like, that's my question. It's not easy to do. You know, there's a limited number of technical people available. Even the actors, you know, to get really good actors that are even young, because young actors are what you really use to push films nowadays. It's not very easy to find, so it's a challenge.
Yeah, speaking of challenges, I'm sure, you know, you said you've been back like 2 years.
Yeah.
And there are people on ground. And you really have to, like, you know, pitch your tent.
Yeah.
Make a distinctive impact.
Yeah.
Tell them, come, you're here to stay. What are the strategies you have come up with to keep your name and your face in the consciousness of Nigerians?
I just have to look for the best people and find ways to work with them. It's as simple. There's no big mysterious strategy.
And you think the people who are on ground will just allow you to go on a glide?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Some will. The ones that
Because
recognize me.
You will put some down for you to come up. For
Not
that
really.
space.
Is it like that? Everyone, there's space for everyone. Yes. There's enough space for everyone.
Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not God. I don't know how big this sky is, but...
You haven't faced any kind of cold...
Oh, of course I have.
Tell us. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm not going to say names, but there are people that basically just told me, you know, you're not the... Maybe you should do this instead. They're telling me, you know, maybe you should try this instead. Do something else instead. There have been a few of the people I had on my list to approach, and they said that to me. So, but I expected it. Not everyone is going to. I mean, even if you're Jesus Christ, somebody's going to.
Could it be because they feel, okay, he's a spoiled kid from a very comfortable family?
Yeah, they may think you don't need help. That's been a challenge for me anyway, because I'm not getting any help from my family side. And you go out there, you know, you're talking to people about what you're into, a project that you may want to do, and they just ask you, are you this Adedoyin, you know, and they just imagine that you're fine. Okay, it's your idea, but you can finance it too now, can't you? Aren't you Adedoyin? You know, that kind of thing. But yeah, I've had problems like that, and I've had people that maybe didn't even know about my background and just told me, you know, you can't do this, maybe try this, do something else, you know, try this. Or, okay, at least we can't help you. We can't help you here, so.
October 1 is here. That's going to move forward, and I believe Demola 2 will also be moving forward. Are there other projects you'd like to go into moving forward?
I want to continue with some of what I've been doing before.
Which will be?
Because I was doing brand consultancy, and we were doing multimedia production for companies, you know, building websites, doing 3D animation for corporate entities that want to do their adverts. We create their logos, different kinds of, we shoot video adverts for them and all this kind of stuff. I've even worked on a political campaign before, you know, doing web development, newsletters, social media for a campaign organization. We do all kinds of work. So I'd like to continue with more of that. And then I'm also looking to start directing my own stuff.
Okay.
My own films.
Does these things, do they pay the bills? Or you still get handoff from family?
Not really. The family thing is like way behind me, because everyone is just like, you're on your own, basically.
And so what number in the family structure?
I'm number 10 of 14.
14 children.
Yeah.
And you're not the first son.
No, I'm actually the last of my mother. Yeah.
How come you're the last of your mother and you still have, I mean, these people are
And I still have what?
I mean, babies of the house, they usually have that, you know, that cocoon scenery around them.
Yeah, I mean, while you're still cute, you can have a cocoon. While you're still a baby growing up, I guess I did have a bit of a cocoon. When I look back at some of the pictures, they all doted on me and all that. But as soon as you become like a teenager, you're on your own, really. This is the way I remember it in my family. It's like, you know, I mean, there are lots of very ambitious people in my family, and they're doing their own thing. It's not necessarily always the family business. Like I have a sister going into politics. I have another brother that's going into the gaming industry. So it's like,
you're the only one that has chosen entertainment. Maybe you're the one that will chart the path for others to follow.
Who knows?
Usually, you know, the one that bells a cat will have to go through a lot for others to...
If that happened, it would be great, but that's not the motivation for me.
Okay.
That's not really the motivation.
And you know you're also into modeling.
Yeah, I did that briefly.
You did that briefly?
Yeah.
Is that going to pay off in any way?
Not really. It was just a thing I did while I was at school to earn money on the side. You know, I've never done it in Nigeria. So
if those opportunities come, would you like to explore them?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe if I get fit and, you know, I'm presentable.
You don't think you're fit enough?
I don't know. If someone finds me presentable, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did your schooling here in Nigeria? Or?
I did some here. I did some in the UK.
So when did you leave Nigeria for the...
The first time I left Nigeria was years ago, when I went to do my A-levels. I can't even remember the exact year, funny enough. I did my A-levels and I had university there. I came back for a while. I worked here. I worked with my dad's companies. I worked at Alda Consulting. And then I went back for my master's. And yeah, I stayed another 4 years and then I came back. So like 10 years on and off, coming back and forth. Yeah.
Yes, people will be admiring you now. People know that they're seeing a young, dashing, handsome guy. Is there space for like the ladies out there? I mean, or the lady out there who is like
a lady out there, well,
you know, dying to meet you or something?
I'm seeing someone at the moment, so I can't talk about ladies out there. So yeah,
you can't talk about it on air.
And I mean, I can't talk about it at all. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm involved with someone at the moment. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it something that will be fruitful? Is it something we'll come and eat rice and wine and dine
I'll
with
let you know, definitely.
You're not sure?
I'll definitely let you know.
She will probably be watching you.
You're putting me on the spot here. Oh my God. I'll let you know.
Lead to the
I have
altar?
your number now, so
Will it lead to the altar?
we'll see. We'll see. It's not in my hands,
How did
really.
you pick her? How come she was one?
These things, for me, I don't really have a type that I'm always looking for. So it was just very kind of natural between us, very organic. You know,
Very organic. I
sometimes
like
you
that
just
word.
know. Yeah, you just know you're interested in someone, and you know the person is interested in you. And
You met her here?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Is she into the film as well?
No, she's
Totally out of
completely
it.
different.
I think that's a good one. Like if the two of you are juggling from one place to another, who will take care of the home?
Exactly.
Yeah, smart one.
Exactly.
Very smart one.
I didn't choose it that way. It just
It
turned
just
out that way. I
happened.
wou't say like I would never date someone who's
So
in the creative
what's your
industry.
ideal
or something.
woman? Who's your ideal woman?
Ideal. I can't. For someone to say they have an ideal woman, they must be the ideal man.
Okay, you're not an ideal man.
I mean, how am I going to say I'm the ideal man or whatever? I'm not really into those, like, those are extremes for me. I just like, just someone who's like intelligent, and they have someone who's very curious about life. Yeah.
Okay, so if I need to ask you who you are, who is Demola Adedoyin, how would you express yourself? How would you tell us who you are?
That would be even hard for me. I don't know. I'm getting to know myself still. I guess I'm just a creative person. That's what I can say, for sure. That's one I can tell you for sure.
And
Yeah.
you can be very firm as well.
I can
Put
be.
down on
Well,
what you want.
if I didn't, then I wouldn't be doing this, you know. I really had to put my foot down because they tried to stop me. So, yeah. I know what I want out of life, generally. But
The acting world here in Nigeria, you know, in comparison with where you're coming from, how do you weight? How do you rate it?
well, I can say enthusiasm is high here. A for effort, you know? Although the final products I've seen don't really
Match up?
they don't really match up, to tell you the truth. But the efforts we're making now are great. I think that Nigerians abroad run, if they don't come back to Nigeria, they run the risk of becoming a statistic out there. You just become a number instead of, you know, bringing what you've learned from there, bringing it back and investing it into your country and improving it. You could just become lost in another person's environment. So we need the people who become experts to come back and do something.
Okay, just like you have done now.
Yes.
And we thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Adding not just to the number, but the creative minds here, because we need loads and loads of you, you
Yeah,
know, in
I think so.
diaspora. Come back home
Yeah.
and do your stuff here and make us proud. And we can sell out our culture,
Yeah.
our heritage, and our people
Yeah.
to the world. All right, it's such a pleasure having you on
Thank
Saturday
you.
night.
Thanks for
yes,
having
keep
me.
doing us
Excellent.
proud. Okay, yeah. And so, viewers, on that note, want to say thank you so much for staying tuned to this week's edition of Saturday Night. Until next week, like I always say, be kind to one another. Good night.